Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Sakeeb Saleheen. I'm a reflexologist for Think Reflexology. It's great to be here. Thank you all for coming today on a Friday night, a bank holiday weekend. I'd like to thank Dr. Tim as well for reaching out to me and inviting me here today to speak. He's done a great job. I never knew about him until recently, how much work he's done as a doctor of 20 odd years, and he's now dedicating his time to help therapists like us, to promote us, to showcase us, and to put us amongst, the health service, which right now, needs a bit of help. It's a bit difficult at the moment. Doctors on strike, you've got waiting lists getting bigger, and they're under a lot of pressure. So we want to help as well. We want to ease off a bit of the pressure that they have. So I think we need to look at health differently. We need to change our perspective. So I think it's really important, we look at things holistically. So that's what I want to do. But before I do, I want to do a little breathing meditation. So it's called the 5-5-5. So you breathe in for 5 seconds through your nose, and then you breathe out for 5 seconds, and then you breathe in again, and then again 3 times. So I'm going to use my hands to count down. So after 3, is that okay, everyone? So after 3, 1, 2, 3. The last one. There you go, well done guys. Feel that rush? It's a bit revitalizing. I know you've traveled far, or it's a Friday, helps you a bit more revitalized and energetic now. So I was going on to the holistic approach. So what is holistic? Holistic means whole. We see the body as a whole. If you have something wrong with your hand, if you have arthritis in your fingers, what does that mean? We don't just treat the hands alone. Your hands are part of your body. It's part of your arms. It shares a circulatory system. It's connected to your nervous system. So we should treat the hands as part of your whole body. So that's what we do. We don't just pick one thing. We work on the whole body. And not just that, not just the physical. We look at the mental health. How does it feel to have arthritis in your hands? How does it feel that you can't play tennis anymore? That you can't pick up vegetables from the market? How does that make you feel? It's your emotional health as well we have to look at. So when I see clients, I spend a good, sometimes half an hour to speak to them, to listen, because that's what people want. We try to speak to our doctor, we can't even do that, it's very difficult. We get 10 minutes with them, and then we've got a waiting room full of people. So I like to spend time with my clients and find out what their problems are. We talk about hobbies, we talk about stress, where their stress is on a scale between 1 to 10, what they eat and how much water they drink, So we ask questions to find out more about them. So the more we know about our client, the more better we can treat them. So it's all about understanding and communicating, and it creates empathy. The more we know, the more we understand, and the better we can treat. So that's what we do. And also, everyone's different. I know we all share the same organs, the body processes, but we're all individuals. So people are different. Some people are older, younger. Some people manage their health differently. Their lifestyles are different. So we have to consider that. For example, if there's germs in the air and 3 people were to inhale it, one person might get pneumonia, another person might catch a cold, and then the last person might not feel anything. So we're all different in that way. So that's what it's all about, individual. We see people as a whole, and that's what we do, and that's how things should be. We should look at health holistically. And I think things are changing, and hopefully Dr. Tim and with this organisation, I think we can try and push this more. So that's the holistic approach. So what's reflexology? Anyone know what reflexology is? Anyone have a go on what it is? Anyone? Anyone had reflexology before? Anyone has ever tried reflexology? You've had it? You've had it? Oh, great. So you know what it is.
I
Okay.
refer people to reflexology.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. That's brilliant. So reflexology, so basically in simple terms, it's your body mapped on your feet. So that includes your organs, your glands and your limbs. So your whole body. So this is just a map of the right foot here. And you can see all these squiggly lines and all these things. Can anyone guess what these parts are? You can see here, that's the liver. That's the liver there. And then you've got the kidneys. And then just on top of that is the adrenals. And then you've got the digestive system here. So it's all mapped on your feet. And if we actually go back to the beginning, I just want to show you, this is my logo. So I know it looks like a man with wings, but actually it's a man's basically body mapped on the feet. So if you have a look, you see the two big toes here, that's your head. And then as you go down, you see the neck, just on the neck of your toes, big toes. And then you've got the, it's not completely accurate, but I mean it's got the lungs are here on each side, the left and the right. And then as you go down, you've got the abdominal, you've got the digestive system. And also, it's quite interesting, right in the middle, do you know what that is? Exactly. So that's where the feet both meet. So your spine is on both sides of your feet, on each side, the left and right. So that's what reflexology is. So it's all your whole body on your feet. If I just go through here. So here, you're probably thinking, well, how is your body mapped on your feet? How does that work? You know, how can you have your lungs on your feet? How does that sound strange, doesn't it? Well, this is what we follow. These are 10 zones. So we follow a system where, just like acupuncture, they have meridians, we have zones. So the feet is split into 10 zones. So as you can see, there's 5 on each side. And it goes all the way through your feet, and it goes all the way up your body, all into your head, as you can see here. So the acupuncture is called meridians, and we call it zones. So if you can see the zone 1, for example, it's a bit unclear, I know, but where the big toe is, where I showed you before, it goes all the way up, and it passes through your bladder, goes into your digestive area, passes your pancreas, and it goes all the way up to your trachea. So it passes through these organs. So we're tapping into the body with these pathways. So that's what we do. We tap in there. So we concentrate on reflexes and sections of the meridians found on the feet, which are stimulated by specific massage techniques. So yes, this is a type of massage. So we tap into your feet. So your feet are like keyboard. It's like a keyboard to a computer. We can tap into the body with your feet. Your feet actually, does anyone know how many nerve endings we have in the feet? Anyone have a guess? So about 200,000. There's over 200,000 nerve endings in your feet. So obviously think about your circulation. It ends in your feet and then it goes back up. So it feeds back into the system. So it all moves around. So what we do is we work on these pathways, and sometimes it can be congested. So you can imagine if one pathway is congested. Imagine if the M25 was blocked. It would affect all the areas along the way. I know it happens often. But imagine if it was completely blocked, you know, you'd have to clear it, and so the traffic can come through. Well, it's the same as this. So we try to clear that and make the flow easy. And then what we try and do is achieve homeostasis. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but homeostasis is what we do. We try to balance the body. And the zone 1 would stimulate or sedate. So that's another thing we can do. We can actually stimulate these organs, and we can also sedate. So the body is either underactive or overactive. So we want to keep it in the middle. So if it's underactive, we'll help it reach a point where it's balanced. If it's overactive, we calm it down. So that's what we do here in Reflexology. So who knows about this? Stress. Stress, yes, we all know what that is. I myself know it quite well. I'm actually, one of the reasons why I do this is because of this stress. I used to work in sales, property, I had targets, I had all sorts of pressure on me, and it took a toll on my health. My health got bad, and I thought to myself, if I carry on, it won't be good. I could end up a lot worse. So I stepped back from that world of money and all these deals in London and all that, and I decided to get back into reflexology. I say back into because when I was young, I read a book my dad bought from the car boot, and it was about reflexology. And I remember the maps, just like the map I showed you. I was always wondered, what is this all about? And since then, it triggered me, and I thought, you know what, I want to get back into, I want to learn more about this. So then I took up the course, and it's the best decision I've ever made. Now I'm helping people with stress. So for a person that was stressed before, I'm now giving back, helping others. So yeah, stress, yeah, that's what it's like. Headaches. And here's a statistic for you. Look at that. I didn't know this until recently. 70% of disorders are caused by stress. So, and nerve tension. So what happens is when you're stressed, I'm sure osteopaths will know this, your muscles tense. When you feel really tight, it's usually because of stress. And when your muscles are tight, it impinges on your nerves, and then it causes pain. And then if it carries on, it can become inflamed, and it can get worse. So that's what stress does. That's one of the things. I'll go more in detail about that. But yeah, so it tightens the muscles, affecting the nerves. So reflexology helps with stress. It's quite famous for it. It helps reduce tension in the muscles. So what it does, we work on the pathways, reducing the pressure, and the muscles relax. And when it relaxes, it releases the tension on the nerves, reducing in less pain, because that's what is causing it. And here's another story for you. Sick leave. A lot of people are off work because of sickness, and it's been very high, even after the pandemic. It's increasing. A lot of people are stressed with work. They're finding it very difficult with the cost of living. They're obviously the bills, the kids. There's a whole load of things with money and many things that's going on, that's causing a lot of pressure, and it's it's showing it in their work. They're people are working overtime. They're coming home late. Their diet, everything's just out of the situation. So yeah, it's getting really bad. But then stress isn't such a bad thing, because it's been the stress response. It's been with us since the dawn of time. It's there to protect us. So it's a physiological, chemical response in our brains. It's there to protect us. And people, they show. It's different in different people. Some people might show cardiovascular problems. Some people might have stomach problems. It affects different people and different things. So it can also cause anorexia, palpitations, sweating, and headaches. So this is it. When you have a headache, you go to a doctor. You get painkillers. What does that do? It just stops the pain response. But that's not why you've got a headache. There could be many reasons why you have a headache. You could be dehydrated, it could be your blood pressure, it could be blood sugar, it could be your neck, it could be lack of sleep, it could be so many more things. But obviously, we take these tablets and we block things, but it doesn't help the source. We want to get to the source. So that's what we do. Okay, also with stress, obviously it's an imbalance. So obviously, as I talked before, we want to try and balance everything. So stress is a chemical response, and sometimes it can be triggered by not just experiences, but also what you eat, and your diet, your lifestyle, and also what you use on your skin. So I've got this here. This is a bit controversial. I blurred this out. Basically, this is a very popular shampoo. And in this, you can see here, 6 out of 100. It's an app that I use to scan the barcodes. So it's not very good for you because it's got a hazardous chemical inside, BHT. So I've got it over here, but it's basically butylated hydrotolamine, which is a compound used in cosmetics, and it has endocrine disrupting effects. That's in our shampoo, and I'm sure we all use shampoo, and there's things in there that are causing these defects in our body. That's shampoo. And this one, I had to blur it a bit more because this is very popular. It's a popular drink, a fizzy drink that our kids drink, that we drink in parties and barbecues. And that's even worse, 2 out of 100. And what's in there? Additives, acosfame potassium, an artificial sweetener which causes metabolic disorders. So all these things, the sweetener in the drink and the BHT, it's all playing around with your hormones. It's going up and down, so it's causing an imbalance. And when you have an imbalance, it causes inflammation. When you have inflammation, it causes disease. So this is it. So it's quite scary. So yeah, make sure you have a look at the ingredients in some of your things. But I'll tell you about what it is later on. I'll tell you what it actually is, and I'll tell you the app as well. Imagine if you saw this run into you in the park. How would you feel? Would you fight? Or would you run away? I would run away. Yeah, exactly. This is a lion, of course. Yeah. So stress isn't such a bad thing. It's been with us for a very long time. It's there to protect us. And what happens is, it's not just a feeling, it's within. So our brain starts to ring. The hypothalamus triggers the pituitary gland, and that releases adrenaline. The adrenals release hormones to fight infection, but then it also halts digestion. So when you're stressed, your heart beats faster, pumps more blood around you, your eyes dilate, your hairs stand up, your breathing increases, your body tries to get you ready to run. And that's, in circumstances like this. So our ancestors had to hunt, and that's what they had to go through, and it helped them. But unfortunately now, in this day and age, we get it every day at work, or stress with bills or things like that. So we have the same effect, but we have it more continuously. And when you have something continuous, it becomes chronic. And when it becomes chronic, it can get serious. So yeah, these are the things that happen. Breathing rate increases, heart rate, your eyes dilate, hairs stand up. So stress causes all these things. So what does reflexology, what can reflexology do? So reflexology isn't a cure. I'm not a healer. I'm not here to say I can heal people. What we do as therapists, as complementary therapists, we help the body restore. The complementary therapy helps the body restore and heal itself because it's able to do that. But it needs the right environment. So we're not a cure. We believe that, the body has its own healing process. So we just have to give it time. The problem is when our blood pressure's high, our blood sugar's high, and it's all up and down, the body can't keep up. It needs to be relaxed. So that's what we try and do. We try to relax the the body. And obviously stress, the negative effects of stress, the bad diet, the emotional issues can disrupt the body processes. So again, this is what stress is, just playing around with your internal organs and your hormones. You know, we want to try and manage. Obviously stress, we can't turn it off. It's never going to stop. We're always going to get stressed with work, bills, all these things, but we need to find a way to manage it. And this is it. I've had a very strong coffee before I started this, so yeah, I mean, everyone manages it differently. Obviously reflexology is a good way to manage it as well, to reduce the pain. So yeah, so when you have a car and your car battery goes flat, what do? You go to the garage. You go to the garage to get it fixed, or maybe there's a loose connection. You go to the garage for a fine tuning, and if it doesn't work, just buy a new car. But unfortunately, guys, we can't trade our bodies. We can't do that. We have to work with what we have. So we have to make our bodies stronger and more resilient, and so we have to try and find ways to relax as well. So I've talked about stress quite a bit. So what's the opposite of stress? You can see how stress is within, how it affects your body, what it causes, all the things you eat, you know, and the experiences you have, the emotional effects. But what's the opposite? The opposite is relaxation. But what's relaxation? We have to find ways to relax, but this is it. Reflexology, what we do is we try and balance the hormones so that your body can catch up and you can feel revitalized. You know, sometimes when you fall asleep and you wake up, but you still feel tired. You know, this is a sign of stress. You know, you want to feel energized, you want to feel revitalized, you want to feel good. So relaxation is within. We have to try and keep everything balanced. So that's what we do. So homeostasis. So we you know, reflexology helps with that, to reduce the tension, which reduces the inflammation, which reduces the pain. And so, you know, our adrenals, when we do have stress, our adrenals ring, and it just releases these hormones. And sometimes when it does it often, it can lose a lot of nutrients. You know, your body's losing vitamins and minerals, right? So we don't want that happening all the time. And then it can affect your blood pressure and everything else. So you saw that 70% of diseases are caused by stress. So you can imagine how many different sicknesses there are. Oh, is that it? Time for a treatment? I went through that really quick. So yeah, I think we'll have a little break. Is that right? And then
it's break time. It's break time. Unless you want to do any questions at this point.
Yeah, any questions? Anyone have any questions? No? Okay. Shall we have some tea and then do some...
Just one question.
Yeah.
When you were comparing the meridians in acupuncture with the zones in reflexology, do they correlate in any strong fashion, or are they just two separate systems?
It's very similar, yeah. Obviously we just work on the feet and the hands, but obviously acupuncture, they work on all over the body. So they work on the meridians as well. But we call it energy pathways, so it's the energy neural pathways as well. So it's the nervous system as well. And obviously acupuncture, they go just on the surface, you know, where the receptors are. We go deeper. So we go deeper into the body.
The pathways up and down, they don't correspond. They're not sort of following similar channels.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah. So this is it. It's very similar. It's similar sort of chakras and, you know, all the points. It's the same as chi. It's the same as energy pathways. It's all very similar. But yeah, we just apply different pressure and we go further, deeper down. So yeah. That's what we do.
Doctor said that the same thing can be done using the hands providing the therapy with reflexology. Do you do that, and how effective is it? Is it more or less?
Yeah, I mean, obviously your hands are sort of halfway up your body anyway, but with the feet, it's because it's got more nerve endings, and obviously it goes through your body. So I like to do the feet more because it's got more effect on the body.
Working on the feet is more effective, even though the same map is present on the hand, isn't it?
It's similar, yeah. We'll go through the hand reflexology during my treatment. I'm going to give you out some papers to follow yourself. But yeah, I prefer the feet because it's bigger as well, so there's a lot to cover. And yeah, it comes all the way up, so it's the end of your body. It's where all the nerve endings are and the circulation stops, and then the gravity just pushes it back up. So yeah. Any other questions?
What type of shampoo was that? I didn't quite see what it was.
I think I'll tell you after the, the video. But yeah, it's an app. So I use this app. So I just scan the barcodes, and it just flags up things like this, and it tells you if it's bad as well. It tells you what's good as well. So you'd be surprised some of the things that are really good. So yeah, it's really good. It's really handy. You just scan it, and it just tells you what's in it. So it's the additives that are really bad, because there's a lot of these things in there. I mean, you've got like biscuits that have just a lot of sugar in there, but it doesn't have additives. But there are things that we eat often that have these extra flavorings and additives that are causing all sorts of problems. So yeah, it's quite scary, but I'll show you what it is after. But it's a popular one. I picked the popular ones. Anyone else?
So comfortable. I want to get on there myself.
Yeah. Let's put this underneath. So I'm just going to put this under you. Is that better? You can see a bit more light there, isn't it? Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
It's okay.
Okay, so can I grab one of those papers as well? I just want to. So what I want to do, I'm going to go through some of the reflexes. I'm not going to do the whole treatment. I'm just going to go through a few of them. So as you can see, they're numbered. So you've got 1 to 5 of some of the organs. So what we're going to do, I'm going to work on the solar plexus and the diaphragm, the kidney, the intestines, and the spleen. And then if you can follow by just doing it on your hands. So what I want to do, I want to start so the solar plexus is right in between your index finger. It's just where the line is on your hand. Can you see the line? So if you just circle your finger, it might hurt a little bit, but that's the solar plexus. And then we have the diaphragm, which is basically, again, on the line, just on the joints there. If you just follow your thumb over your hand here, and then you carry on the other side as well, and then you go back the other way. That's the diaphragm. And then the kidneys, just where the fleshy part here is, that's number 3. So you can just work around that area. You've got quite a few different organs in that area as well, so it'd be good to work on that. And then the intestines are just right next to it, right at the sole of your hand. So you can sort of thumb walk that. And then lastly, you've got the spleen, which is right at the edge where your little finger is, just under the line there. It's just there, it's a small point. So what we're going to do, I'm going to work on the feet whilst you can work on your hands, and you can see how it feels. So let's start, so I'm going to start on the solar plexus. So the solar plexus is here. So what I want to do, I want to link it. So I'm just going to hold here, and it should dissolve. It's usually quite hard if you're stressed, the solar plexus is quite hard. The solar plexus is basically a ball of nerves. It's basically behind your organs, and there's loads of nerves around it. So when you're stressed, this really gets affected. So usually when I have clients that are really stressed, the solar plexus here is like a ball, and then I link it, and it suddenly just dissolves. It gets softer. So I want to work on the solar plexus here.
Yeah, maybe this one off. Let's try this off.
Oh, you can't see it.
They suggest you turning a light on.
Yes, let's try this off first.
That one first.
Yeah, and then
Juggle with the lights and see what's best.
yeah.
Put a bit of wax on.
No.
No.
So
Yeah, it's just
yeah, feet up seems. So
put a bit of wax on here. I'm just gonna.
it's coming back up.
So this is what I call relaxing. So I'm doing stroking up and down. Makes you feel more relaxed. Does that feel good?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, so that's stroking, and then I do circles like this.
That's good.
If you can see that, I'm doing circles from the top to the bottom. That works on the whole body, and then I go up doing a crisscross here. Can you feel that? I'll do the same on this side. So. So you can also relax your hands. You can just move your thumbs up and down just to make it loose, you know, whilst I'm doing this relaxation. And then I'll get onto the solar plexus. Yeah. So let's work on the solar plexus again, sorry. So just circles around. And then let's work on the diaphragm, so it's across the hand from the little finger or going across where your line is. So you can just do a little thumb walk. So I'm going to do it here. And usually you work with your breath, so every breath that you take, you push. And if it's easier, you can flap your fingers like this, and you get more pressure, and you can really feel it. Sorry. So I'll do the same thing here. So I'm following your breath. This is when I usually do this, the clients fall asleep, because it follows their breath, and then they suddenly breathe slower, and then suddenly they just close their eyes and sleep. So I'm going across here, then I'm going across on the other hand as well. So if you want to do the other hand. Can you feel anything?
That one hurt a bit, but that one doesn't.
Oh, okay. Do you suffer with stress?
Huh?
Do you suffer with stress?
Yeah.
So usually with stress, we work on the diaphragm as well. It helps you relax because it's your breathing. So I work on that. And then we go back the other way. So follow the same line but across the other way. So I'm going back. You sleeping? Okay. So once you've reached the end, we can work on the kidney, which is the fleshy part of your hand. So you can just press on it, you can circle it, you can thumb walk it. So I'm going to work on it here, which is right here. And obviously your kidneys, your adrenals are right on top of your kidneys, so for stress, again, it's good to work on your kidneys. And obviously your kidneys connected to your heart with the big artery, so that helps to relax you if you work on your kidneys. And then let's work on the intestine, so that's this part here. You can just thumb walk that up and down. I'm going to work on it here. Can you feel that? A bit crunchy. Yeah. So, well, this is it. It's it could be a blockage. It could be something. And then you can do the same on the other hand, on the intestines.
How long would you do reflexology for?
How long, what, the session?
Yeah.
It's usually 45 minutes. Yeah.
How often would you have it?
Usually we have six sessions.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like,
For a course.
what is that, weekly or?
Yeah, you can do it weekly or twice a week.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But it has to have a day in between
Yeah.
to help you recover it. Alright, so that's the intestines. And then we can work on the spleen, which is just under your little finger, under the line. So you can just press on that. Might hurt a little bit. You can just press, or you can circle. Sorry, the spleen's on the left hand. It's on the left side of the body, isn't it? So it's on the left hand. So this is the spleen here. The spleen's very important for fighting any infections. It cleans out your blood. It recycles all the dead cells and everything. It's where all your lymphatic system goes.
So one spleen.
Sorry?
Only one spleen.
Yeah, only one, yeah. So that's your spleen. Does that hurt you?
A little bit,
little bit, yeah. All right. And what we could do now, I know it's not on the paper, but we can do the spine. So if we follow our thumb and we go down along the thumb to where the wrist is, and then you can go back up as well. That's the spine. So I can do that here as well. And it's the same on the other side as well. problems in your back? Your back problems?
Sometimes a twinge.
Okay. So I can feel a bit of crackling here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm going back up. So I'm going down the spinal cord, and then I'm going up where the vertebrae are, where the bones are. Might hurt a little bit. And remember where your thumb is, that's your neck. So it starts with your neck, so you can work on your neck as well. And your neck is where, when you're stressed, it stores in your neck. A lot of stress is trapped here because it's your head, it's holding up your head. So all the thoughts, all the negative, it just stops here. So a lot of people have pains in their neck, they feel, very tight, and it's because of stress. Yeah, it makes the muscles tense. And also you've got your thyroid there as well, which is really important for your health. It's quite important, your neck. And it controls your breathing, so C1 and C2, it's very important for your breathing. So if you have a neck injury, it's quite serious because it can affect your breathing. That's another thing with the neck. And if you feel any crackling or anything like that on any of the points, you can go back and work on it and try and sort of work on these points more. Another point we can do with the tip of the fingers and the thumbs, you can squeeze. This is your brain. So if you've got a headache, you can squeeze your tip of your fingers. It might help. And also your sinuses are there as well. So if you've got hay fever and all these things, that can help.
So migraines.
Migraines. Yeah, so that would be in your head here.
Same.
Yeah.
Big toes.
Big toes, yeah. And you can do on the side as well. That's also quite nice. If you squeeze from the side. And in between the fingers, these are your lymph nodes. And this is really important. If you've got an infection, these lymph nodes, they carry a lot of the toxins. So if we squeeze in between our fingers as well, I'll do the same here. Oops, sorry. Yeah. So there's lymph nodes all over our body, and it carries all the toxins. So it then neutralizes and goes into the spleen, and then it goes back into our blood. So sometimes it can get full up and clogged. And then unfortunately people get lymphatic disorders. Then once we've done that, we can just work on the chest and just sort of work on the chest so it all drains out, you know. You can push it down.
Does that help with circulation?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It all helps circulation. Reflexology helps with circulation of the lymphatic and the blood circulation. Yeah.
Recently, when I was on holiday, I did a lot of walking, and I got a big rash on my leg. And when I went to the doctor, she told me it was a varicose rash.
Oh, varicose veins.
Yeah.
Okay. No, it doesn't look that bad. And there we have it. Thank you guys. How do you feel? Anything?
Obviously.
Feel more refreshed? Yeah. So that's just your hands. So obviously your feet is very effective as well. But yeah, that's it. How do you feel?
Yeah, really good.
You good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be signing up for something.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously this is not the full treatment. Obviously I'll go through the whole body. These are just a few of the organs that are quite important. But I would usually spend about 45 minutes covering everything. And that includes relaxation, linking as well. So I usually link the glands in the body, in your brain, your pituitary, your pineal. So I cover the whole system there, just to balance everything. So I'll do that in the beginning. I'll do relaxation, and then I'll work on all the organs and the limbs as well. So yeah, that was just a taste of it. So thank you very much. Okay.
You recommend Sakeeb drinking lots of water after?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, after a session we usually say to drink plenty of water, because all those toxins, they need to be flushed out. So obviously drinking water helps. There we go. Take that for me.
Oh,
so we've had our treatment. So I'm just going to sort of summarise a few things. So the benefits of reflexology. So we talked a lot about stress and what it does to your body. And the opposite of stress is relaxation. So we want to feel relaxed within. We want to feel revitalised. We want to feel good. So it's working on homeostasis. We're trying to balance the hormones. Because if you're stressed, things go up, things go down, it's all muddled up. So we want to just make it all balanced so that the body can catch up and work and work on the body processes normally. But if you're stressed, you're obviously not. So it's all about relaxation, and also with relaxation, it's working on the muscles. So when you're stressed, your muscles tense. It tenses on the nerves, and then it causes pain. Reflexology relaxes the muscles, relaxes the nerves, and reduces the tension on the nerves, so you feel less pain. So that's relaxation. The pathway. So I showed you the slide with the lines going down. These are all pathways. So along the way, you know, you've got I think it's 60,000 miles of nerves we have in our body. So you can imagine everything's traveling through something. Nothing's freely moving around your body. It's all traveling through pathways, just like a road. Everyone's traveling down a road. And there's going to be some points where it might be a bit rocky. There might be some crystals there, things in the way. So yeah, things can be obstructed. So that's what we do. Like today, like you felt the crunching, so that was the pathway. Maybe there's something there blocking it a little bit. So what we do is we try and clear this pathway so that the flow of energy and blood can continue. The excretory system. So we have a circulatory system, and also we have a lymphatic system. The lymphatic system is amazing. It's a system that basically, it's like the gutter of our body. So all the toxins from our blood, all the bacteria, it gets moved into this gutter, and then it goes through the body into the lymph nodes, and the lymph nodes carry these toxins, and it neutralizes it, and it goes back in it goes to the spleen, and then it neutralizes it, and it goes back into the body. So this is called your lymphatic system. But the thing is, with the lymphatic system, it doesn't have a pump, unlike your blood circulatory system. Your heart pumps blood everywhere, but your lymphatic system doesn't. The only way it can pump and move is by movement. So the more you move, the more this lymphatic system works. And also with reflexology, we work on that system as well. We really flush it out. So when you're working on your chest, when you're working on the lymph nodes in between your fingers, you're working on these nodes, you're pushing toxins out. So obviously with excreting, it comes out, urine and defecation. Also in your breath, so it comes out in sweat as well. And yeah, so another thing is crystal deposits. So I don't know how many people know people that have had gout. So gout is another problem with crystals, uric acid. When your diet is quite acidic, it builds up and it goes straight to your feet, and it causes pain. And so what we try and do is we try to work on this to reduce these crystal build-up in your joints. And obviously crystals block the pathways and the circulation, and it can cause problems. The nerve endings. So your feet have 200,000 nerve endings. So we can tap in to the body through the feet and try and help the flow by taking these crystal deposits, crushing them down and making it clear. And also, with most of us, we've all got shoes on, and we usually wear slippers at home. I know it's cold nowadays, or slippers or sandals. So our movement's limited. We don't get to really move our feet. So, our feet are quite rigid, and usually with reflexology, it really helps loosen up things and makes your feet a bit more lighter. In the olden days, they didn't have, like in ancient Greece, they walked bare feet, and they would wash their feet when they would go to someone's house. It was a kind of custom there. So, but with our shoes and slippers, it's not really good because it doesn't make your feet move and make things move around. But you've got reflexologists, so you can wear your shoes and I can loosen things up for you, and you feel a lot better. Here's a few news stories. So here's one story: a premature baby who was kept alive by tickling her feet. So this is a premature baby. She was on a life support machine, and her mum and a nurse were tickling the baby's feet. And they did that for a while, and it actually helped her breathe. She started breathing from that. So obviously made the news. It's a fantastic, amazing story that just by stimulating a baby, of all people, I actually did reflexology yesterday on a baby, a toddler, and he just sat there and he really enjoyed it. I worked on the diaphragm and he felt more relaxed. So babies, do have reflexology as well, and you can see here it's saved the life of a baby, a premature baby. Here's another story. In Northern Ireland, reflexologists that help women become pregnant. So obviously, again, with reproduction, it's all about hormones, it's all about circulation. So reflexology can help with that. You know, it can help relax your body. In fact, I've had 2 clients that were heavily pregnant, and they were really, you know, they really wanted to have a baby, and I find that they were both really stressed. So again, when you're stressed, what happens with your muscles? It gets tense. So you can imagine, how can you relax and have a baby if you're really tense and tight? So you need everything to be relaxed. So having, you know, these muscles that are tight, it's not really going to help you. And even conceiving as well, if everything's tight, nothing's really going to work as well. So we need to have everything to be nice and smooth, and it will help. So yeah, so they realised that. Northern Ireland, yeah, so they actually help people have babies. So that was and there's many other stories you'll see. In fact, King Charles has reflexology. There's many famous people now having reflexology done to help them with their anxiety, with their pains. There's many other stories as well. Here's a few reviews on my Google page. It's a few of my clients here. One of the clients, he had a few problems with his back. He does a lot of gardening. He felt really tight in the back, and not only that, he had a few issues. He was suffering with a lot of stress at home with bills and things like that. I was working on him for, I think it was 3 or 4 sessions, and he became so much more better. He became more positive. He was doing more gardening. He was going out for walks, and he just felt a lot better because, you know, again, it's all the circulation. It's things are going to the right place. You're going to feel better. So then he started to feel a lot better, and then he started to do more, and then the pain suddenly just went. You know, he's back. You know, so he's really happy with that. Is one of my other clients. He had acid reflux. He would usually bring up acid, and you know, but this is also to do with stress. You know, because remember, when you're stressed, what happens to your digestive system? It shuts down, and then it builds up all this acid, and then you're, you know, having acid reflux. And so I worked on him, and then suddenly his pains went. He stopped taking the medication, and he carried on eating and as normal. So that was one of his guys. So yeah, there's many other here. This guy here, Darren, he actually had an accident when he was very, very young. He actually damaged half of his brain, and he wanted to get back on his feet. They told him he couldn't work anymore, he couldn't do anything, he'll be just housebound. But he didn't want to do that. He studied online courses, and then he called me. He said, look, I want to learn to play the piano. So he was learning to play the piano, but his hand was really stiff. So I'd had a few sessions with him, and you can see here, you know, he said, look, it really helped. The first time I ever tried Reflexology, I would give it a try, and I have problems with stiffness in my right arm due to pressure in my spine. Sakeeb is a professional who is friendly and visits your home with all the equipment he needs. I'm very happy. So now he can play the piano. His right hand, he can move his fingers. So yeah, there's just a few. There's a lot more on my Google page. So you know, feel free to have a look on Google. You'll see, and I'm hoping to have a lot more because I really want to go out there and help people. You know, and I think, you know, this organisation, I'm really happy you're trying to promote us and make us more recognised, because we want to help. We want to be on the part of this health system. We want to take the pressure off the doctors. We want to do our part. So yeah, I really want to get out there. My cards are here. If you, my posters are on the wall. If you want to see my website, so you can have a look. And yeah, I'm mobile, so I travel. I've got my stuff in my car. I keep this in the back, and also at Supple Feet as well, just down here in Enfield Town. I'm there Wednesdays, but I can move around. It's fine. I was there today. So yeah, pretty flexible, so if you ever need, if you want to try reflexology, think reflexology.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to share. About 20 years ago, I had a patient who came to see me with sort of discomfort, pain. She couldn't really describe it properly. So I thought maybe C6 neck problem, C6 nerve, trapped nerve kind of thing. I examined the neck, couldn't find anything wrong. The hands were fine. So I sent her to her GP, and she had blood tests done, and they found a thyroid problem. So when she came back and saw me, I thought, that's interesting. Interestingly, a week later, I met a reflexologist, and I was telling her the story. She went straight away on thyroid, without knowing I've sent her to a GP for blood tests, and it was here.
Yeah.
She said, "Oh, thyroid, simple." Yeah. So big respect.
Yeah. And this same person, Darren, he had problems with the thyroid. I actually, when I worked on his thyroid, he reacted a little bit. He felt some pain, and then now he's on thyroxine. His doctor said he's got thyroid problems because his blood pressure was up and down, he's putting on weight and all these things. So this is it. I look at everything, his lifestyle and everything. So I'm not like I can't spot things, but I mean, I would mention to them that this is what I find, and they can go off and do their research and decide what they want to do. But yeah, that's what we do. We try and help as much, but we don't cure and we don't give advice. So we just do our part. We just try and help.
It's interesting mentioning thyroid, because I had at least 2 patients who had been away on holiday, New Forest or somewhere like that, and as part of their week away, they thought reflexology was available, maybe in the hotel. And they both came back to me and said, well, it was really lovely, but the reflexologist said, you've got a thyroid problem. Go and check it out with your GP. No symptoms, nothing at all. Okay, let's do a blood test. And yes, borderline underactive thyroid, which would have possibly only come into obvious symptoms in years down the line, but they were able to have management early on, to prevent any big problems, complications. So very, very sensitive, picking up things at that very early level.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can definitely spot things. When you feel the imbalance. Usually, I ask them, is there something wrong with your shoulder, or is there something wrong with it? And oh yeah, I've had an accident 2 years ago, or something like that, or So the neck as well usually is the most common. Usually people have a lot of crunching there, and it's stress. And then you find out what they do. Oh, I'm a stockbroker, or I do this, I do that, and then you know what it is. So it does show in your feet. And there's reflexologists that look at foot reading as well. So there's lines and there's certain things upon your feet where some reflexologists can read what it means. So for example, if your toes are sort of facing towards your big toe, it means that you're a thinker, because your big toe represents your thoughts and opinions. So you're a thinker and you sort of think forward. If it goes the other way, then you're more creative, but then you look at the past. So there's all these different signs. So it's very vast, reflexology. So I looked into a bit of that as well, foot reading. And also I just came back from Greece. I studied orthopedic reflexology. I studied with a Greek reflexologist, and he uses the Hippocrates, he used the father of medicine. So there's an actual way of doing reflexology, that's sort of Greek ancient style. So it's working with the bones, so it's really moving and manipulating things. So he actually works with sports people that get injuries. So he's on the sidelines when they're playing handball or when they're playing football. He's there doing all these movements and things like that. So I went to see him and I trained with him as well. So that's something else. I really want to help people with injuries as well, because a lot of people have injuries and pains, and young people as well. I play football and there's a lot of my friends that are injured, And the thing is, injuries, as you get older, it can get worse. So yeah, it's really important to try and sort it out early. But your body does heal, your muscles and your bones as well. So it's not over. You don't have to worry too much. But yeah, that's the end. So thank you all for coming. I hope you had a good time. I hope you feel inspired. I hope you feel more passionate as I do. And if you want to know more, my website's here. Keep supporting Dr. Tim Ridge and the organisation. It's a great initiative. And hopefully see you in more of these talks. I'll be sitting down this time. But yeah, thank you everyone.
Well, really great talk. Thanks ever so much, Sakeeb.